Donald Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts today. Our special coverage of this unprecedented verdict continues now. I'm Ari Melber, joined by my colleagues Joy Reid, Stephanie Ruhle, Katie Phang, Alex Wagner, and Chris Hayes. May 3rd, 2024 is now a day etched in history. It was 4:30 p.m. when the jury in New York versus Trump reached its verdict. The jury told the court, triggering a process which unfolded over another roughly 36 minutes as the defendant, lawyers, and reporters returned to the courtroom. And around the nation, people received alerts. A verdict was in. On MSNBC, as you can see up on your screen, Nicole Wallace reported this verdict was imminent and that this jury, which was tested in unusual ways and heard over 20 days of testimony and deliberated over 9 hours, that this jury's work was done. It had not been delayed. And the jury's work and its findings were not deadlocked. They reached a unanimous decision, filling out the legal forms, tabulating each felony count, signed by the anonymous foreperson who would then read out the verdict to the court as the defendant looked on. And with no cameras in court, here is how those moments played out as a decision in that courtroom at 5:06 p.m. New York time ripped across the nation and the world.
A verdict has been reached in former President Donald Trump's New York criminal trial.
We are looking at count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty.
Breaking news, Donald Trump found guilty on at least five of the 34 charges so far.
That just stopped me in my tracks. I can hear the cheering. Tell us what's happening.
There's an eruption from the...
Guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12 we have now.
That is 15 out of 15 so far.
It's accountability. It's exactly what America needs right now.
Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty.
The rule of law within liberal democracy has survived.
How does the public receive this verdict? Is it going to be fractured like the country?
Count 33 and 34, guilty. Found guilty on all 34 felony counts.
The breaking news, Donald Trump guilty in the so-called hush money criminal trial.
The first former president of the United States convicted on criminal charges.
The test for us now as a country is whether or not this former president and his allies will have succeeded in trying to undermine the rule of law so that people reject this as a legitimate function of the rule of law in our country.
That's what happened today. Do you remember where you were when you first heard there was a verdict? When you heard there were guilty verdicts? When you heard it was guilty on all counts? As Rachel just referred to, the rule of law held. That was the whole point today. That is far more significant than any commentary or complaints about it. Donald Trump stands convicted of these felony counts by a jury of his peers, the first such conviction of any former president. The kind of unprecedented negative fact that will be repeated many times through his life and in history books. Guilty is the legal fact, the headlines that Americans are waking up to tomorrow. As Rachel and our panelists have mentioned in our coverage, it's law and order, which we hear so often debated. Well, that's no debate here. It is a reality, a fact, a legal ramp to the next stage of sentencing, where jail may be on the table. The gavel that you see on magazine covers echoes the true power that we understand operates in courtrooms that work. The judge and the judge's rules, the jury's judgment and its deliberations, and certainly not the defendant, no matter who the defendant may be. Whether this does lead to cuffs on another day, as one New Yorker cartoonist is imagining it in that brand new cover out tonight, is an open question. But we can tell you how it will work and when it will be. Today, the judge rejected at the end of the process, at the very end of court, rejected an effort to set aside this verdict in any way, and then announced sentencing for defendant Trump, now convicted, July 11th, which is 4 days before the Republican convention. Tonight, D.A. Bragg spoke about this case, declining to say what his office may seek regarding a potential jail sentence for a convicted defendant, Donald Trump. He said they will continue their approach of he and his assistant DAs to speak on this matter only through the court.
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors. by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor, and as we showed you on the screen, and we have here the pages from the foreperson on the jury, unanimously read out. Chris, I could ask you where you were when this happened, but I know where you were, as I know where we all were, because we've been waiting on this moment. But as we reset here, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, some people coming home from different parts of their lives. As Rachel likes to say, people are busy. We recap. Big picture, what does today mean?
I think that as we were in that interregnum between the announcement that there was a verdict and the actual reading of the verdict, there was a sort of flurried kind of tea leaf reading. Okay, there's not a hung jury. No, there's not a hung jury. Okay, not a lot of people who watched that trial thought you're going to get acquittals, right? I mean, I think that was generally the sense. And as you said, I thought really clarifyingly that it was not an acquittal strategy put on by the defense. It was a hung jury strategy. So they're not deadlocked. There's unanimous verdicts. There was a little bit of question about, is there going to be something split here? The unanimity of the verdict and the fact that every count was guilty, to me, creates a kind of clarity of the story for the American people about this trial that would have been a little tougher if it weren't. And that doesn't take anything away from any of the people that played parts in the process or changes the fact that he would be convicted of felonies. But the unanimity sends a message about the seriousness of this case, the seriousness with which it was brought, and the total lack of reasonable doubt in the minds of 12 jurors tasked with reasoning to collectively under our system that what he did was criminal.
I'm struck by this verdict coming on the same week that there has been a very divisive debate over the Supreme Court. It feels like a real stress test for the judicial system in different ways, but very meaningful ways. On one hand, you have a justice who was flying the flags of insurrectionists over two of his properties. He has been resolute in his righteousness and said he does not need to recuse himself. There is a real loss of faith in the integrity of that court among some parts of the population. Then you have this ruling, this verdict here, that I think gives one part of the population, maybe a sizable part, or maybe the majority of the American electorate, confidence in the justice system, that the center can hold. And yet you have, in the same hour that the verdict is released, an entire Republican machine that is working at full tilt to undermine American faith in this particular verdict and really the justice system writ large.